Hello, my pretties. It's the Lion Queen here. So, welcome to episode 261 of Shadows and Pretties. So, today we're going to be looking at a body horror film that was directed by Tom Holland, and this film is based on another Stephen King movie. And today we're going to be looking at the 1996 movie called Finner, which is based on the 1984 novel by Stephen King called Finner. So, this movie is definitely one of the good movies from the 90s, and I definitely have to say it's got pretty good acting. I mean, Stephen King's in this one as Dr. Jonathan Bangor, which is pretty awesome. It does have other good actors that were also in this film, and especially Robert John Burke, which he was a pretty good actor for that movie. However, there was some things about this film that even though the film was, not really liked by a lot of people, but I personally thought the film was pretty good though. In my eyes, I personally thought this film was amazing. I mean, like I said, that's just your opinion if you don't like this movie, but I personally really thought this movie was pretty good and it's excellent. It's a really good film. It's definitely an enjoyable movie, although if you don't like this movie, I respect your opinion. And this has been one movie I've been meaning to, try to get to for a while. And finally, I have finally got to it, which is called Finner, which is another Stephen King movie. So most of you guys may find this really interesting. So, anyways, with that being said, for those who haven't seen this movie in a really long time, this video will be a good refresher. And for those who haven't seen the movie in like any time or whatever, or read the book or whatever, you guys will definitely enjoy this. So, I guess with that being said and that being the case, I think I should go ahead and, review this movie. So, anyways, let's begin. So the plot about this movie Finner is about Billy Halleck, who is an obese upper class lawyer who lives with his wife Heidi and their daughter Linda in Connecticut, which is a state in the U.S. Billy recently defended an underworld mafia boss named Richie the Hammer Janelli in court and is now celebrating the acquittal on a murder charge. However, Heidi, trying to persuade him to forget about his obsession with food, she eventually tries to give Billy pleasure as he's driving. However, Billy gets distracted. He accidentally runs over an elderly Romani woman named Susan Lebeek, killing her. And he is acquitted to the proceedings of his friend Judge Carly Rossington. And however, though the local police of Chief Duncan Hopesley, who obstructs the case by committing a perjury for Billy. Now, outraged by the injustice of Suzanne's father, Tadzu Limpike places a curse on Billy's steps of the courthouse by touching his face and uttering the word Finner. So soon after, Billy begins to lose weight rapidly, despite not exercising or sticking to his diet. Heidi, fearing for the weight loss may be due to his cancer, she eventually calls Dr. Mike Hudson, whom Billy begins to suspect his wife is having an affair with. Billy learns that Rossington and Hopeley have been also cursed, Rossington having to be metamorphosed into a lizard like being, while Hopeley develops in the purulent ulcers on his face and hands. Both Rossington and Hopeley then take their own life. However, Billy tracks down the Romani camp and tries to reason with Tatsu. Tatsu eventually threatens to make the curse worse if he doesn't leave. Gina, Tatsu's great granddaughter, there uses her slingshot to shoot a large ball bearing with those goes through Billy's hand. Infuriate him into vowing the revenge against Tatsu and the other Romani people who live there. Billy enlists Jin and Nelly to attack the Roman camp by persuading Tatsu to lift the curse. Chanting a spell, Tatsu mixes Billy's blood into a strawberry pie. However, Tatsu states that if anyone else who eats the pie, the curse will kill them quickly, and Billy will be spared. He urges Billy to eat the pie himself and die with dignity, but Billy refuses, and he arrives home, gives Heidi the strawberry pie. However, eventually, when she delights to eat a piece, the next morning Billy finds her dissected corpse next to him and is gleefully to be free from the curse and not for what he believes that will dissoil his wife. However, when he goes downstairs, he discovers that his daughter has also ate some of the pie for breakfast. Racked with guilt, he prepares to eat the rest of the pie. However, he's interrupted by Mike at the door. Mike grows uncomfortable and struggles to explain his unannounced presence, seemingly confirming Billy's suspicion of an affair between Mike and Heidi. Billy invites Mike in for a piece of pie and closes the door with a smirk, and that's pretty much how the movie ends. I mean, it's a pretty interesting story, and it does have, a pretty good film. It's a pretty good film. I mean, we got pretty good actors that were in this film, and they did mostly a good job, portraying these characters, and, the concept of it seems pretty good. And I mean, I haven't watched this movie in like a really long time. I think the last time I touched this movie was like maybe years ago, and I can't remember, but in all due reality, this film was actually a really awesome and well-made story, even though this is a pretty good concept of it. So, in this film, I actually really have to say that it's pretty different from the book, although I have not read the book. But I do personally really think that it's a pretty good story, even though I do have to see that there is a lot of great stuff with this movie. So, I guess with that being said, and that being the case, this film does have pretty good concept and it does have a lot going for it. So I gotta really say this film actually was a pretty good horror adaptation. It's not like you're getting killed or, it's not like a bad guy running around killing people. It's pretty much a movie that only involves, just a curse pretty much. It's not really, anything thing you expect, but it's still a pretty good movie. I personally really like, I thought that this was a pretty good Stephen King film. Now, the whole concept of it and the plot line was pretty good, and I thought it was pretty original. And even for a Stephen King movie, you never know when things are going to strike up. This is the best part about Stephen King films is because you never know what's going to happen until you've seen the movie. Even if you read the book, it's pretty much the same thing. So in my honest opinion, I personally really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a really good one. I mean, yeah, there were some unnerving parts of this film, but I personally really enjoyed them, and they're pretty well made. So, with that being said, and that being the case, I have not read the book in a long time, so yeah, I'm just basically going by what I remember from the movie. So, I'm gonna have to rewatch the movie because I have not watched a movie in like a really long time, but it is a pretty good Stephen King film. I don't understand why it was hated. Maybe there was something about the movie that maybe I'm missing, but if anyone who has seen this movie can let me know why, the guys can let me know in the comments below. Now, I will review other Stephen King films like Misery and even Pet Cemetery. But about Pet Cemetery, I'm only going to review the first one. I have not seen the second one. And I do plan to probably see the remake of it, which came out in 2019. So I have not seen the remake of it yet. So, yeah. But, anyways, this film is definitely a pretty good story. I personally enjoyed it. So, I mean, it's a pretty good Stephen King film about a guy who gets thinner after after he runs over this woman. The man puts a curse on him, causing him to get thinner, and the only way to break the curse is if he eats the pie and dies, or somebody else eats the pie and or something. I don't even know why that's the case, but I mean, it's pretty interesting with for Stephen King films. I mean, this is one of the kind of why I really thought that this movie was pretty interesting. Although I have not watched a movie in a really long time, but Stephen King impresses me with all of his writing and novels and coming up with, different ideas and stuff. So, you could definitely say this is definitely a good film. Do I recommend watching the movie? Yeah, I recommend this movie to any of you guys who are interested in watching this film. You will not be disappointed. You will honestly really enjoy this film. So, I highly recommend you guys check out this movie. And if you're a Stephen King fanatic like I am, you will like this movie. But I also recommend you guys check out the book too. I have not read the book yet, but I'm gonna have to read it at some point, and I'm gonna have to rewatch the movie at some point too, because I have not seen this movie in like ages, man. Like, I mean, I feel old. I mean, this movie came out in 1996, so it's an older movie. So I definitely recommend it. anybody who is curious about this film, I recommend you go check this movie out. You will not be disappointed. So with that being said, and that being the case, this is just my own personal opinion on this movie. If you disagree with me, that's perfectly fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions regards to these movies, and this is simply my own personal thoughts. I personally recommend watch this movie if you haven't. You will not be disappointed. It's a great film. You definitely will enjoy it, especially for Stephen King fans. So, anyways, yeah, what did you guys think about this movie? Please leave me your thoughts now down in the comments below. Anyways, I am the Lion Queen. I want to thank you so much for watching today's video. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave this video a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Ring the bell for notifications to when it uploads. That way you guys will not miss an upload. And on my About page, I do have my DeviantArt account for any of you guys who are interested in following me on DeviantArt. That's where I'll just post random art whenever I get a chance. And if you guys have Twitter and you're interested in following my Twitter page, you guys can follow me on Twitter, which the link to that, as well as the link to my DeviantArt page, they will be in my About page section of this channel. Also, if you are interested in following my backup channel called Miss Dark Shigo, feel free to go subscribe to that one as well. And that's going to be the one where I will, upload whenever I feel like it. Just still the stuff like some creepypastas every now and then, horror stories, etc. So, I guess that's pretty much all I have to say about this. So if you guys like this film, let me know. And as always, I'll be seeing you guys all in the next video. I'm not sure whatever Stephen King movie I'm going to review next, but if anything comes to mind, I will definitely review it. So, anyways, I'll be seeing you guys all in the next video. Peace out, my pretties, and like always, I'll see you all next time.